Hey there, Pastor Lois again, sitting near my front door right now. It's too sunny out that way, and Matthew's not cooperating with the window, so this way you don't have to stare into just a bunch of white stuff over here or a bunch of dark stuff over that way. Anyways, so I want to talk to you about one of the readings that you'll hear in church on September 13th. But not the gospel reading this time. This time I want to talk about Paul's letter to the Romans. And in particular, it's from Romans chapter 14, the first couple of verses. But I tell you what, this is a bonus devotion. You're not only going to get a Bible lesson, you're going to get a science lesson too. And let's start with the science first. Do you know what an omnivore is? Do you know what an herbivore is? Well, herbivore is somebody who only eats plant-based foods. When they're humans, we normally call them vegetarians because they eat vegetables and other plant stuff. Omnivores, on the other hand, omni means everything, so they eat everything. They eat both plant-based foods and animal-based foods. And I have to tell you, I think Paul, who wrote the letter to the Romans, is an omnivore. Let me read those lines to you, and then we'll discuss why, and we'll discuss how this is important to know. You know, what he says is important to know and to think about. Paul writes, "Welcome those who are weak in faith, but not for the purpose of quarreling over opinions. Some believe in eating anything, while the weak eat only vegetables. Those who eat must not despise those who abstain, and those who abstain must not pass judgment on those who eat, for God has welcomed them." Now, abstain is a word you might not have heard before. Abstain means refuse to eat. Okay. So he's talking about people who eat vegetables and not meat, and those who will eat meat. And he calls the people who only eat vegetables weak. And that's what has me thinking that Paul's probably an omnivore. Okay. But he's not just talking about what people eat in this passage, and it's part of him discussing really how people believe and how they practice their faith, like how they do church. So even if you consider, he's basically what he's saying here is even if you consider somebody else weak in their faith because they don't do the same thing you do, that you're still supposed to welcome them and not quarrel over those things that are basically opinions. You know, like it doesn't really matter to God if you're singing a beautiful old hymn or a brand new contemporary Christian song. God just wants you there in person or by live stream, worshiping God and worshiping with each other. Okay? So it's important to welcome people who are different than you and think differently than you, because God has welcomed them too. And I think the good news in that passage there is that God does welcome a variety of people. So we get to interact with a variety of people, whether it's at church or at school or anywhere else we see people, and that includes not only in person, but when we're online with them. So I hope you're taking advantage of opportunities in school or wherever else you go, again, whether that's in person or using the computer, to learn about those who like vegetables. Take care. Bye.